The periodic table of elements, a tool used by scientists around the world to identify the hundreds of elements that exist within our world. But, in the eyes of someone who's never seen one before, all they would see is a chart with a bunch of confusing symbols. However, when you take a deeper look, you'll find that it has many trends and patterns. In this video, we will be going into detail the trends of the periodic table. Let's get started. Before we go more in depth on periodic trends, let's knock some basic information out of the way first. First off, we already know that the elements on the periodic table go from left to right in order of increasing atomic number, and that the functions of an individual element is determined by its atomic number or number of protons. We also know that the periodic table is organized in columns and rows called groups and periods. Also, the groups on the periodic table is separated in categories which are alkali metals, alkaline earth metals, transition metals, other metals, metalloids, nonmetals, halogens, noble gases, lanthanides, and actinides. And with some basic stuff out of the way, let's move on to the periodic trends we'll be focusing on in this video. While the periodic table has tons of trends, the one we'll be focusing on will be B.E.A.R. No, not the one who lives in Jellystone Park stealing picnic baskets. I'm talking about B.E.A.R. Basicity, electronegativity, acidity, and radius. Basicity meaning how basic an element is in terms of acids and bases. Electronegativity, which identifies an element's tendency to steal an electron from another element. Acidity means how acidic an element is once again in terms of acids and bases. Finally, radius, which identifies how large an element's atom is. When looking at B.E.A.R on the periodic table, we will look at it like this. As you can see, one letter is written on each corner of the periodic table, starting near hydrogen and moving clockwise. With each of these trends, B.E.A.R, as you move towards the corner with that label, the trend increases. For example, as you move towards the bottom left of the periodic table towards R, the atomic radius of each atom gets larger. Or, if you move towards the top right, towards the E, each atom becomes more electronegative. This also means that the farther away you move from that section on the periodic table, the less it becomes. For example, as you move more towards the B in B.E.A.R, the A decreases, and vice versa. We can already start to see how useful B.E.A.R can be. For example, by just looking at the table, we can see that fluorine is the most electronegative element and that it is more likely to take an electron from a calcium atom than from a chlorine atom. There are many more trends on the periodic table, and we haven't even scratched the surface for how useful B.E.A.R really is. But in terms of preparing for the final exam, I believe that I've covered all the topics that you need to know. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Ms. L, please give me 100 on this. And yeah, goodbye.